Hi guys, welcome back. So my name is Adithi and today I'll be taking science for you guys. But first of all, I just wanna give a huge applause to Summer. He's a very good friend of mine for starting such a thoughtful initiative for all our friends out there who are unable to access such a provision of online classes. And also, before I start, I just want to say that everyone, please stay safe, stay home. We're in this together. We need to fight this pandemic together. And with that, I would like to start today's lecture. Okay. So today we'll be learning about the solar system. It's a very interesting topic, but at the same time, it's very vast. So today we'll keep it very minimal and basic, okay? Okay, so all of us, we belong to this group of organisms called the human beings. And as human beings, we have our loved ones. We have a mother, we have a father, we have our brothers and sisters and siblings and so on and so forth. But have you ever wondered if the earth has a family? We'll come back to that later. But as I said, we are human beings and we live on the surface of the earth, the outermost surface of the earth called the crust. The outermost surface of the earth is called the crust, and that's where all life lives on. Okay? So when we look up, we see the sky. There's nothing unusual about that, right? But what's interesting is that during the day, the sky is so much clearer and brighter, but at night it's so much darker, right? Why? What's the reason behind that? The reason is a very simple one. It's just that during the day, there's a big burning ball of fire that's present in the sky, and that's nothing but the sun, right? So the sun is nothing but it's a star. We can't just call the sun a burning ball of fire, but it's a star. The sun is the only star that's visible during the day. But then there's a question that rises. We see stars at night as well, but it's so much more different than the sun we see during the day. What's the reason behind that? Now the reason is a very simple one again. The sun, which is a star that is so much nearer to the Earth's surface when compared to the other stars which we see during the night. So the stars which we see during the night are so much further away from the Earth's surface when compared to the sun, which is much nearer to the Earth's surface. And that is why the sun seems so much bigger than the other stars when compared. Okay. Now we know what the sun is. Okay. So the sun is the closest star to the Earth, and the stars produce energy. Okay, the energy is produced due to this nuclear fusion. Okay, there is a fusion between helium and hydrogen atoms, which we will study later. And this energy is produced in the form of heat and light. Okay, so the sun is also known as the soul, and that's where the word solar system comes from. Now you get me? So the sun is also known as the soul, and that's where solar system comes from. And why is it called the solar system? It's because the sun is always the head of the solar system. It is where all the planets revolve around the sun, and therefore the sun is termed to be the head of the solar system. Okay? And the energy produced by the sun is one of the main source of energy on the earth. Okay, so now as I said, the sun is the head of the solar system, right? Now, before we move on, we need to learn the differences between a star and a planet. So a star is something which produces their own light, whereas a planet does not have their own light. And then because light is a form of energy, stars also produce energy. And in the same way, plants which do not produce their own light does not produce any kind of energy. Then stars appear to twinkle at night, where planets, they don't twinkle at night. Stars have enormous masses when compared to the planet. Okay, so when compared to the planet, stars have so much mass, but whereas planets have insignificant masses when compared to the sun. Now, stars are fixed; they do not change their relative position, whereas planets, they orbit around the sun, and therefore the position changes. Now, stars appear to move from the east to west. As we know, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, and therefore it appears to move from the east to the west. Now, planets appear to rotate from the west to the east, the opposite direction, except for the planet Venus. Okay, so yeah. Okay, now we have the solar system. The solar system comprises of the sun, which we have already learned about, is the head of the solar system. Then we have the inner planets, which are the Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and then we have our gas giants, which are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Okay, so planets are categorized according to the size and composition. There are two main categories, which are small rocky planets or internal planets, which are made up of rocks, and minerals, which are namely Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Then there are gas giants, which are external planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune come under gas giants. So these rocky planets are very heavy when compared to the gas giants, but in size, it's so much more smaller than the gas giants. Okay. Now the first rocky planet is Mercury. So Mercury is termed to be the baby planet, which is always kept close to the sun. If the sun, okay, so we can compare the solar system to our family. For example, let's consider the sun as to be our parents, right? So if you have a smaller sibling, they're always given much more attention, they're given much more dedication, and they always get close to the parents. And therefore, Mercury is one such planet, which is termed as the baby planet. And it's always kept close to the sun, and therefore it's the closest planet to the sun. And it's also the smallest planet. Why is it kept close? It's because it's the smallest planet. And Mercury has no moons, so it has 0 moons. There is no sort of atmosphere around it. So there's no sort of atmosphere, and therefore life is not possible. And it has a revolution period of 88 days. That means it takes 88 days to revolve around the sun. And it's a very hot and dry planet. Okay. Now the next planet is Venus. Venus is the second closest planet to the sun. It is the brightest celestial body besides the moon and the sun. And why is it the brightest? That's because its atmosphere has this unique characteristic of been mistake it for a star because it's just so bright. And then it has a revolution period of 225 days, which means it takes 225 days to revolve around the sun. Okay, and the Earth and Venus are said to be twin planets because it's so much similar in characteristics and features. It also has rocks and mountains, but life is not possible on Venus because it's very hot. As I said, it has the unique property, the atmosphere has this unique property of absorbing the light and heat which comes from the sun, and therefore it is the hottest planet in the whole of the solar system, and it is also the third smallest. So the first smallest is Mercury, and Venus is the third smallest. Next, we have the Earth. The Earth is the third closest planet to the sun. First is Mercury, then we have Venus, and then we have our Earth. Earth is the only planet that supports life or that aids life. It has one natural satellite or one moon as we call, and it's called the Luna, Okay, its a scientific name is Luna, and that's why we call it lunar. Okay, so that's where lunar gets its name from. Then we have the Earth, which is composed of 71% of water, and that is why it appears blue from the outer space. Then it has an oxygen-rich atmosphere, which helps in which supports life. Then it takes 365 days to orbit the sun. This 365 days is an Earth year. So it takes 365 days to revolute all around the sun, and it is the fifth largest planet. Okay. Next, we have the red planet. Why is it red planet? Because it appears red due to the composition of iron oxide, or which we call nothing but it's the rust. Then it is the fourth closest planet to the sun. Then we have Mercury, we have Venus, we have Earth, and then we have Mars. So like Earth, even Mars has icy poles. Like we have the Arctic and the Antarctic. In the same way, even Mars has ice caps at its poles. Then Mars is the home to the largest volcano in the solar system, which is named as the Olympus Mons. Okay, and unlike the other rocky planets, Mars has two moons or two satellites known as Deimos and Phobos, and it is the second smallest planet. Now we have Mercury, which is the smallest, Mars, which is the second smallest, then we have Venus, which is the third smallest, and Earth, which is the fourth smallest. So with that, we come to an end of the first part of the solar system. We will meet in the next part 2, which we will be discussing later. And it will be all about the gas giants, asteroid belts, and the dwarf planets as well. So thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.